is the Oilers' zone coverage defensively like the problem and like why they fell out of the playoffs? Like, well, no, it's the fact of like
they could not
Kane,
score.
Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman just didn't show up in the second round, and that's basically why they didn't get through the Vegas
They put up their average numbers offensively. We are the Stanley Cup champions right now. I said this last week, and I say that again right now.
Nuge does his job. Hyman does his job. We're still partying.
Yeah. I think that problem's going to be pretty resolved too if Connor Brown's in the lineup as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it feals like they've at least, in bringing in Connor Brown, in bringing in a Lane Peterson, in bringing in Adam Earn, like they're trying to put some NHL ready bodies in that.
Adam Earn is not an NHL ready body. That dude's going to be an AHLer, hands down, no problem.
Okay, but here's a question, actually. Tyler and I had this debate the other day. Do you think Dylan Holloway is a lock for this team, or do you still think he has like a little bit to prove to make it?
Lock to make the team?
Yeah, like do you think he'll be on the opening day roster?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think he'll be there because of cap.
But they can send him down.
I know, but
who's going to play in front of him?
I just think, for example...
you got to throw these guys in the deep end and let them swim.
Yeah. No, for sure. But like say they want to keep Gagne and Sutter, for example. And it's like, okay, well, we can't keep them both because we have to Dylan Holloway. Do you send Dylan Holloway down for the first 15 games? And so I looked. Ryan McLeod played 90 games before he came up. I believe Dylan Holloway's played around 50 in the American League. Like, I'm not saying Dylan Holloway isn't good enough. I just would not be shocked by any means if they were like, Dylan Holloway is not on this opening day roster, which is fine.
I'd be shocked.
You would be. I mean, I would be. I'm assuming he's going to be on the team, but if
I'd be shocked if they sent him to the AHL.
Anybody else? Is everyone in agreement with Rickon?
I think
secondary. I think Holloway will be on the team. He does have to prove himself though. You
can't just come in there. No. He's not just like skip out on camp and whatever, but he come in and play the way he can. He'll be fine.
Feels a little bit like the Broberg situation from last year, where it was just kind of we're counting on him to also be in that spot, right? Like we want him there. We want him to be at that point in his projection and in his progression.
He played 50 some games last season.
Last season, Dylan Holloway played 51 NHL games with the Oilers, obviously, and he's played 45 in the American League. So he's played more games in the NHL than he has in the American League.
But the flip side of the Broberg situation is, again, we do have options. If he does falter, they do have people that could fill in.
A lot of these players, they need to play with better players, and you don't get that when you go in the AHL. So you go back to Clefbaum way back now. Clefbaum did not look great by normal standards when he was playing in the AHL. Didn't have great numbers, blah, blah, all that stuff. So when he came up and they gave him that big ass contract, everyone sat there and like, well, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? When you're playing the NHL, players are where they're supposed to be. The pucks ends up where it's supposed to be. Yeah. When you're in the AHL, that's not the way it goes. Some of these guys need to play the better players because that's who they are. Holloway is definitely one of them.
That's
Holloway
the game that you're meant to play. So it's like play the game and
yes, they're like it's a give and go. You give the puck, you go to there. Yeah. In the AHL, you don't know if that puck's going to be there. In the NHL, you know it's going to be there.
For reference, Oscar Clefbaum played 48 games in the American League, scoring 10 points. And then he became a full-time Oiler the year after and had 20 points.
And that's just a situation where your time is up in the AHL. It's now you need to go. You start again. Like you don't come to the AHL and become a high-end NHL. You come to the AHL and now you got to get your feet wet in the NHL. You're going to make some of the mistakes you made in the AHL because you're at a different speed, different type of players. You need to make those mistakes at every level. You just make sure you don't make those mistakes twice, and that's where we're at.